Springtime is a very, very powerful time in our healing process, and I wanted to share with you today a bit about what I personally know from 32 years of work with people as a medical intuitive to be able to help support your healing process this spring. So I know retail therapy is a very funny kind of conversation. A lot of people will banter back and forth, and it's beautiful. But what it means oftentimes is that we're having emotional feelings coming up, and we want to always remember in the healing process not to put a band-aid on those things, but to actually process those things. That is probably another topic or another conversation. However, in a way that it's not with what I'm about to share with you, is the importance of spring cleaning during spring. Spring cleaning your house, spring cleaning your garage, spring cleaning your yard, allowing yourself to go through your entire home, or a drawer if your entire home seems too overwhelming, or a closet or a box, and give yourself permission to clean things out. For me, I use spring as an opportunity to create space and allow myself to explore more about my overall habits and my overall patterns in my day-to-day life. So springtime for me, I make a commitment not to accumulate. So that retail therapy, I make a commitment if I'm bored or if I'm upset or if I'm angry, it's not a time I'm going to scroll around on social media and buy stuff or go to the store and start accumulating stuff. If I feel any emotion and I notice I'm kind of antsy in my pants, I'm going to open up a drawer and I'm going to start going through the drawer. I'm going to pay attention to things and how things make me emotionally feel. Do things bring up a negative memory? Are things representing something really old or ancient from my past? Are things really representing who I am to allow me to feel that I live in the most sacred space in this world that's been created for me? This is my responsibility, looking around at my home and feeling connected to my home, feeling like I can take a big, deep breath, feeling safe and feeling sacred is a very important piece of our healing process. Creating room, because creating room is creating opportunity for growth. One might not understand how cleaning out a drawer could impact our health and wellness, but I will tell you, as you clean out a drawer and you commit to not retail therapying for a little bit, what you're going to notice is there's feelings that come up when you see this space. You might feel proud, you might feel anxious, you might feel overwhelmed, you might feel like, ooh, this is a lot of space. Again, what comes up when you notice that? So often we fill the void instead of dealing with the void. In the void, there is so much beauty. In the space, there is so much beauty. And this is the truth. We have to create space to give ourselves an opportunity to heal. So it's not about a drawer. It's about the habits that get that drawer so full. It's about the habits that we have that distract us and constantly make us feel we don't have enough time. How many times, again, I hear about retail therapy, people spending hours shopping when they don't need clothes or they don't need things, but it helps them feel better. But does it really becomes a question, especially during spring? Spring is a time of new growth. Spring is an opportunity to change. Spring is a very powerful season in our internal healing process. It's a time to stop and reset. It's a time to take account for what it is that we have. It's a time to look at the things that we have. Are we using the things that we have? Are we making the most out of the time and the things that we have? Or are we just accumulating more? People do this all the time in the healing process. So often I hear myself sharing with clients, you know the answer. Let's take some breaths and let's find the answer together. And they're oftentimes surprised to hear their innate wisdom start to speak. Something that seems so complicated becomes so simple. Because this is the truth, is we know a lot, but we don't take the time to pay attention. We notice a lot, and everything we notice is for a reason. But what starts happening is we just live in this space where we forget to honor how things make us feel. We forget to honor how we actually feel and what we actually notice that would make incredible dynamic changes in our health and well-being. I recently went through my closet in my bathroom and I found some expired stuff. I found some towels that were stained up and kind of old. I went through and I noticed I had doubles of a couple of things that I had no idea I even had doubles of. I started thinking about what led to that, what led to the chaos of having expired things and not paying attention. Expired things have a tendency of pulling our energy back. Having doubles of things when we don't need them, oftentimes for me at least, represents I'm too busy to pay attention. So when we pay attention and stay curious with how things got the way they got, without judging, without criticizing, but just becoming aware, spring becomes a very, very transformative place if we take this time and this focus to heart. I love the spring to allow the energy to become more free, to allow myself to pay attention to what I want to plant seeds with to help grow deeper in my own life and in my own healing process. When I'm done cleaning things and I notice, wow, this towel is so stained up, I could have taken a different type of time and probably made that not happen. I'll think about that moving forward, that I give myself permission to take more time to take care of the things that I actually have. When I look at the expired things, I notice, wow, how is it that I didn't notice that? And my answer is, well, I'm just too busy. So then I explore that and I say, well, I'm too busy doing what? And then I explore that and I just pay attention. I don't judge myself. I don't make myself feel bad about it. I just pay attention to the curiosity that I have, because curiosity and making changes is how we actually heal. So for me, springtime is a time of cleaning out as much as I possibly can in a joyful way. It's not a time of accumulating. It's not a time of choosing to hold on to things. It's a time to make room for more, meaning more growth, more space, more experience, and more curiosity. When we look at our closets and they're full of all kinds of stuff, sometimes what happens is there's a should thing. I should clean that out, and should puts this pressure in our bodies, right? Sometimes it's, oh man, yep, you got really heavy when you look at the clothes you can't fit into anymore. When you're noticing these things, do they help you feel more of what feels supportive, or do they put a pressure on you? How can you help yourself? How can you choose to prioritize time to clean things out? Because what worked for you last year, you're different this year. Your perspective is different this year. You're healing. So what you liked last year or 10 years ago, makes sense you're not going to like it now, because you're changing and you're growing and you're healing. My taste has changed so much in the last decade. It's ridiculous. That being said, when I look at my room like, I'm not really liking this so much, I'm kind of, it's kind of drab. What can I do to support this so I feel more connected to where it is that I sleep at night? And I'll dream about it, I'll think about it, I'll pay attention. But the one thing that I do is I clean out my drawers, I clean out my closets, and constantly create room for change. As I do that, this might sound totally wild, I get more insight, I get more ideas, I get more creative, I get more hopeful, I become more joyful, and I feel more calm. I feel like I'm taking care of what I've been given and not taking things for granted. Instead of wanting more, I honor and take care of what it is that I have. I ask myself, do I really need this thing that I'm about to buy? Or is it just I'm in the moment right now? And is that the energy and the feeling that I'm wanting to focus on? How we surround ourselves in our life, the places that we live, the people that we spend time with, is a critical connection with how fast and how deeply we can actually heal. If your environment is creating stress, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling boxed in, how can you create more space and room for yourself? Take some big, deep breaths, ask for clarity, and ask for insight. It's the most beautiful thing with taking big, deep breaths. So for me, if I open up a drawer and it's full of stuff, I pay attention. My breathing gets very shallow. If it's nice and organized and I open it up, my body breathes in a very different way. It's very deep and it's very relaxed. One is very different for my healing process than the other. One is I am so grateful for what I have and I'm so proud of being here and alive. The other, when everything is shoved in there, makes me feel pressured, makes me feel chaotic, makes me feel like I should be doing something different. And all of those feelings don't lead to a feeling of joy for me. So the more that you give yourself permission to be in harmony with your environment, and the environment that spring creates for us is an environment of releasing what no longer serves us, is releasing what we no longer use, is creating space for more beautiful seeds to be made. You don't have to fill the space with anything in the spring. Let the space create its own magic. Now you might say, that's really hard to do. That's really, really hard to do. I don't like looking at space. Well, that's then an active healing process you get to go through and explore the feelings that come up, because this is the thing. Anything that you give yourself permission to feel, when you have a skill set, you will heal those things. So anything you give yourself permission to heal or feel, you will heal if you have a skill set that's productive. It is a very powerful thing. So when people share with me about retail therapy, there's nothing wrong with retail therapy. Just make sure that you're aware and tracking the emotions that you're feeling so you can allow yourself to truly heal. Because retail therapy isn't necessarily going to be healing unless you're really truly addressing the emotion. It could be creating kind of a cover-up or a band-aid. And that's what happens when we look around our homes. Does this represent who I am today in a way that feels supportive to me? It's very important long-term that the answer of that is yes. That you give yourself permission to create a sacred place that you live in so that your body feels safe in the present moment in this beautiful life that we've been given. One wouldn't think that spring cleaning could mean so much. It means all of this and more. So have fun clearing out a drawer or two, cleaning out your backyard, cleaning out your garden, cleaning out your car. Allow yourself to focus on creating enough space for yourself. Because when you open up a drawer and it's not organized, it represents what you need to do and what you don't have enough time to do oftentimes, or energy, right? When you open it up and it's relaxed, there's a subtle intention inside that comes through that you have more than enough time to take big, deep breaths, that you have beautiful breathing room in your life, and that you are worthy of creating so much more in your life, and you have the room to receive it. As wild as it sounds, if everything is shoved full, you don't have the room to create a lot more. When you don't have room, normally it means you're spending a lot more than you need to also, and you're using a lot more of your resources in your day in ways that aren't necessarily supportive of your organic creation of joy and vitality. Everything is very intimately connected in our lives, and I love being able to remind you of this. Big, deep breaths. Enjoy the energetics of spring.